Try that.
Just want to do a sound check with those virtually. Can people on Teams hear me okay? Anybody?
Perfect. Yeah.
They're all a bit shy, but yes, they can hear you.
Brilliant.
Thanks, everyone. We'll mute it again
you.
for a second until we're ready to start.
I'm off. Yeah. Brilliant. Thanks all. Can't see when I pop my glasses on. So thank you. Thanks for those joining both in the room, which is great. So bear with us. This is the first sort of hybrid approach that we've done for some time. So thank you for those who've logged in either from offices or working from home. We've muted the screen just behind us so that we're not distracted by all your great faces. But yeah, we'll make sure we bring you in as well if you've got any questions. So thank you all. Thanks for joining. Be great if we can start to fill the lecture theatre back with people. So we'll make sure that we start spreading the word a bit more to get back to some form of face-to-face. But thank you to the teams as well. You've done a lot of work to try and make this as as a good experience for those working from home, but also myself and those of us in the room. As always, opportunity to give some brief updates from myself in relation to the trust. But what I always want out of this, hence the title Question Time, is an opportunity for you guys to put me on the spot. So any questions you've got, concerns, worries, things you're hearing, if we can address that. I can't always answer everything here and now, but I always commit to coming back to people. So please do. So a few things from a trust perspective, and I really hope, great to see some T-shirts in the room. The first thing I just wanted to say was a huge thank you for everybody involved in pulling together our Togetherness Week. And for those, I'm sure you've read in comms, etc. It was different. We wanted to do a different approach this year to not just recognise some individuals that absolutely deserve to be recognised, but we wanted to do something that we could do that all staff as a thank you. So do something throughout the whole of the week. Different activities. It was amazing this morning, almost emotional when I walked in through the main entrance and heard the choir. It felt a bit like Christmas. I don't know whether I was as happy about that. But yeah, just, you know, we've got all sorts of activities, food, ways of saying thank you, and for people to get involved. Bringing the thing that's important for Robert Jones and Agnes Hunt is people, a team. And I think we've lost that over the last few years with COVID, different ways of working. So this isn't just a thing that we're doing, this is the start of something that we're going to try and bring that back to the organisation. So that's my commitment around how do we do that and start to feel like things used to feel that's positive, but also things that needed to change, etc. Also important that we move that forward. So please get involved. I've had lots of emails around, you know, if something doesn't quite work for you, like going to Denby's or so, we're open to other ways that we can make sure people, you know, can benefit from the activities that we've got on. So please do. But get involved. Tweet about it. Social media, all sorts. Really keen that we share the messages. I had fantastic morning yesterday, so huge thank you to Clwyd Ward and the staff that were on duty yesterday morning. I had the best clinical shift. Brilliant just to spend time with our staff, hearing the fantastic feedback from our patients firsthand. And it was so nice for me to, you know, I'm a nurse, and it was fantastic to do what I came into the profession for. So a real commitment to do more of that as well, moving forward. Next on my list, just in relation to COVID, I always say I never want to talk about it again, but we have a reality, isn't it, that COVID remains with us. It is how we now adapt and manage dealing with everything that we need to do, but factor in COVID. So there's a couple, I won't go through the changes in detail. I know Chris and the comms team have got something lined up that will go out either today or tomorrow. But there's a couple of changes nationally that have come down. One around testing. So we anticipate there'll be some changes to asymptomatic testing for staff and patients. And again, Sarah and the team, the experts, have been working through what that means for us as an organisation. There will still be some testing requirements, and we still plea to people to make sure that you still access your lateral flow via the website, via the government route. But there will be some changes to what we ask of staff. Some of that science has driven the changes, but also as well living with COVID. We don't test for flu all the time, so some of that is due to it's how we now live and evolve really with COVID. So there's that element around testing. The other element that we've been working through, which we've always said we need to remain agile, is face masks. So thank you to people in here. It's not that crowded, but if this room was full, we'd still be asking people whilst in here to keep face masks on. We took face masks away, didn't we, previously? We reintroduced them because we saw community prevalence rise. Community prevalence is certainly reducing significantly to what it was. So just again, making some changes in relation to that. I haven't got all the details yet. Sarah briefed me first thing this morning, but there's a lot of detail. So I think let's wait for it to come out via comms, and of course we can pick up questions. I think, Chris, if I'm right, we're putting together questions and answers, aren't we, as well, just to support staff. I'm sure that's what Sarah said, or if not, that's what she's putting together.
There'll be messaging going out tomorrow with links to some FAQs on Percy on all those different subjects that you just covered.
Yeah, brilliant. But again, there will still be a requirement for face masks, but where we need to wear them again will change. But yeah, thank you everyone, because you know the guidance changes. It's more changes for yourselves to have to remember. So we get how confusing it can be. So if we can make that as easy as possible for people, then of course we will do that. Other thing as well to update from an IPC perspective, I'm really keen that I continue to update following the MRSA outbreak that we had back in the summer, the improvement work that has been underway for some time. Again, I say still some fantastic improvements, some real progress, whether it be training compliance, estate work, audit processes, engagement, a grip. There feels a grip around, we know the challenges around IPC, and this is what we're doing to address it. And certainly conversations that I've had, some of the other board members have had in their walkabouts, that comes through, that people know what the issues are, know what actions are taken to be addressed. I've said before, the key thing for us, it's not just to tick boxes. So we've done that action, tick, that's great, that's the first element. It's how we ensure we sustain and embed then changes, because that's what, for us to be, you know, an organisation that wants to be, I want to invite people in to be able to say, this is, you know, this is fantastic IPC, this is what good looks like. But to do that, we need to make sure we sustain and embed then changes. So there's work underway around that, including a bit of a culture assessment that we'll be sending out to staff. It's anonymous. All we ask is that your role or your profession is included in that, so we get an idea around from an engagement perspective where we're up to. So that's due to come out imminently as well across the organisation. In relation to the regulatory aspect, because of course I've updated previously around Jacqueline Barnes working with us, our movement into Oversight Framework 3 off the back of the issues. We're at a very positive place, so we meet regularly with our regulators. They've been in and done numerous inspections. We now have an exit plan that if we continue the improvements, we evidence that we're sustaining this work, we now have that sort of exit plan to move us back to Oversight Framework 2, which is where we were at the beginning of the year prior to this. The next sort of pivotal bit of that is we've got Kirsty Morgan, so the regional IPC director, back in the trust on the 26th of September. Again, she will do a full review of the whole trust. So again, it's ensuring that, you know, the pace on what we've said we're going to do is done, but also that when she's out and about, which she's certainly found in her other visits, the staff to be, you know, as we would expect, engaging, motivated around this. So that's the other area that they're looking at, not just have we corrected things that they found previously. It's very much around the culture piece that they're looking at as well. The one element that I just asked that I know is concerning Sarah, and if she was here, she would be voicing it, but just in relation to the hand hygiene assessments. But again, not to be too negative. They're nowhere near what they were a few months ago. So we've seen a real increase in uptake of people undergoing their hand hygiene assessments. But it seems to be a bit stuck, and there's still more work that we need to do. So please, if you haven't, it's the physical assessment bit where you're either observed or you use the fancy sure wash machine. So it's that element that we really need to make sure people have done. As a board, we did it. So we got all the NEDs, directors involved. So we had a bit of a fun session. So there's fun ways and means. We had a bit of competition using the sure wash machine. So to try and make it a little bit more fun. Who'd have thought washing your hands could be made fun? But we did. So that's one element that we really need to push on around, training compliance. Last thing as well, I've had an email this morning from the Orthopaedic Institute. So great to see there are people involved in the Snowpedic Challenge this Saturday, but it would be wrong if I didn't plug it. I don't want to walk up a big steep mountain on my own. So I'm sure there will be other people, but yeah, if there is still an opportunity now for people to fill out the registration form, and please do come and join me and my dog, which will, if not, will be quite a lonely day. So, again, another really good cause to contribute to training and research in the organisation. So, and also an opportunity to, who wouldn't want to walk up a mountain on a Saturday with the chief exec? I think I've sold it. I hope I've sold it to people. So I promise that we will make it fun. I'm not sure how, but we'll make it. Yeah, we'll certainly make it fun. I did see a hand.
Just to reiterate about hand hygiene, if people can make sure they send their assessments to the training team, please, so we can get them recorded.
Brilliant. Thank you, Liz. Yeah, because that's really important.
Yeah, absolutely.
We see data from what we know. There could be, if people have done the assessment but haven't logged it somewhere or notified the team, then it makes us look worse than actually what we are. So really good point. Thank you, Liz. Chris, anything else before I hand it over to the room and teams?
We covered the key things. I think Victoria was willing to come up and say a few extra bits about what's coming up for Together this week.
If you are willing.
Would you be willing to come with us up here to our audience? We've got about 50 people watching at home. Watching on camera.
Hi. So the main one I wanted to mention was the showing of Greece, which was selected by the hospital community to be shown in the lecture theatre at 5:30 tomorrow night. As you know, we've got a lot of pink ladies of our own in the organisation, and they're willing to serve popcorn and nachos and Coke, I think. So it should be quite a fun thing to do after work. So do come and join us. If you'd like to, just so we can have a bit of an idea of numbers, if you could email us or call the office. Happy if you want to email me, or you can message through the staff Facebook page, but find some way of communicating with us. Ideally, email. So my email is v.sugden, SUGDEN, @nhs.net. So that would be lovely. We continue to have nice little bits and pieces happening every day. So we had the choir this morning. We've got another band in the main entrance at the moment called Odd Bods, who will supply a variety of genres of music to us. There are some competitions that are going on. So we've got Strava challenges. That's been advertised on the staff Facebook page. So there's a QR code to go on and to go forward with some of those challenges. Prize at the end. There's also a Desert Island Disc Challenge. So you can upload your favourite tune to our list of RJAH playlists. So it's like a mixtape for those of us that are a little bit older and remember those. What else? Remind me. We've got a hypnotherapist who's in this evening doing a little course. So we're full up on that now. That's a nice thing that's happening. We've got some inspirational speakers that are coming in on Thursday, so look out for those. Friday at lunchtime, we have a photo booth in Denby, so you can come in and take a photo with your team. Silly hats, silly glasses are absolutely a must, so please come and do that. And then there's going to be announcements of the winners throughout the week. Today is Positive Pledge Week, so we're asking staff to find a notice board, a whiteboard within their department, and just lay out for everybody what the thing that you might do that's positive that will make a difference over the next year. So that might be a simple thing like and it might be my thing would be, I will definitely go and have lunch every day or make the opportunity to have something to eat, because I know so many people just rush around all day and they don't look after themselves in the way that they should. So positive pledges, and it could be anything that you feel would make a difference. So find a space to do that and let us know about it. And again, there'll be a prize for the best positive pledge that comes out of the week. But the thing I'd like to sort of finish on, if there's time, if you don't mind, is our thank you box, which is located next to Professor Richardson's garden. We started that at the beginning of the week, and we're already having a load of thank yous coming through. And I thought I could just read a few, if that's okay. So to Mark Evans and the logistics team, always so helpful and friendly. Thanks for all you do, from Tina and Clwyd Wards. I think that's really nice. I know how brilliant they are, so that's great to see. To Brian McCready for the cleaning and all the theatre trolleys, being helpful to all in TSWS and getting every call, everyone in theatres. That's nice. Vince Booth, thank you for the hard work in Menzies. Nothing is too much trouble from recovery. John Lewis, theatre orderly, top bloke, fantastic team player, very helpful, great sense of humour, pleasure to work with. What a lovely one. And then for Anne Bishop, specialist spinal nurse on spinal disorders. Where do we begin? You're just amazing. We are in awe of you. You go above and beyond to advocate for your patients. You are kind-hearted and considerate, always looking out for your patients and their best interests. We're so lucky for the time and effort you put in. Thank you so much. Love, Alice Ward. And the last one, and this is just a random selection, we've had loads. To my wonderful colleagues in MRI, you make a stressful job seem enjoyable and provide support and encouragement every day. Keep up the good work. You're all amazing. Dawn.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thanks, Victoria. And we need to work out, isn't it, how we're going to share them messages. Absolutely, I think really important. So thank you. So lots going on. The one area, I'd say a wicked problem that we know about that we're working through is staffing. So we know in some areas, especially doing weeks like this week has brought that even more to the forefront. Not that we wasn't aware of some of the issues in some of the areas where we know we're short staffed. So again, commitment from us as an organisation that we're certainly working working harder on how we fix some of the gaps that we've got across the trust in different professions. We certainly we're aware some of the wards from a nursing perspective, but we're also aware operationally that we've got some gaps that we need to strengthen. We've got a big job to do. We talk a lot about our recovery after COVID. Whilst living with COVID, things aren't the same. Our backlog is something that we've never seen before. Our ways of working has to be different. So again, that commitment around ensuring that we're having the right resource in the right place is key. Is key for us to deliver. So important that I just pass that message on as well. Okay, Chris, over to our audience now, whether in the room with us here or there's still nearly 50 of you at home watching this as well. So if you're at home and you're on Teams, please, you can put your hand up in the usual Teams way. We've got you on the big screen in here now. We can see you loud and clear. You can either put your question in the chat and I'll relay it, and obviously the people in the room can read it. Or if you want to, you can come on screen and put your question directly to us. We'll all be able to see and hopefully hear you clearly. So yeah, has anyone got any questions for Stacey today? And they require lunch. I don't want to put people on the spot. What do people think about the format? What do people think about the opportunity to come and do this session in the lecture theatre today and still watch at home as well? Does that work for people? Nodding in the room. A few people on Teams who I know were in the trust today and are presumably in your office right now watching this. Is there anything that would make it better for you to come to the lecture theatre? Is there anyone on Teams who wants to say anything about the format, about why you might have chosen to still stay watching it on Teams, which is fine, by the way. But we're just understanding what works for people and what we can do to make it better in the future.
Oh, I can see a red dot on the chat, so I'm going to just go and check. Yeah, so Chloe from my team actually making a good point there, Stacey, about flu jabs starting again soon as well. That's something that we didn't touch on too much at the start, but she says they're starting on Monday, the 12th of September. So.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, again, there'll be more comms around how people access flu jabs this year. From what I'm aware of, very similar approach to last year. We'll have roaming vaccinators, but also as well opportunity via our vaccination centre as well. Alongside, as people will be aware now, there's been lots of media coverage around fourth booster for COVID as well. So again, practically that's been worked through, but I'm sure the comms will cover both flu and COVID booster. So bear with us on that one. But yeah, it's in the next week is when we'll be starting that.
Lots of positive comments there for the format, Stacey. People saying it works for them in terms of not having to come into the trust just for this. I can see Owen there. Thank you, Owen, for the honesty. He hadn't noticed that you could come to the lecture theatre. Yeah. So if there's a few of you on there, maybe in your office right now, and when we do the next one of these next month, please do come on down, and we'll be doing this again going forwards, hopefully.
Can't see any other questions, Chris, coming in. Yeah, but again, I think I was just keen that we know that hybrid isn't great. I've sat in many meetings that have been hybrid, some in the room, some at teams. We wanted to make sure that whether you're in the lecture theatre or whether you're at home or in your office, that you felt like you were part of it. So that's good to hear. Good to hear the feedback that it seems to be working well. Okay, going forward, I'll put people on the spot if we don't have any questions. Or we'll do, I don't know, stand up, do star jumps. We could do something a bit different. Might need to be careful.
We want them to come into the room, Stacey.
Yeah. Oh, Victoria.
Could we just plug the running group?
Oh, yes. Again, I think as part of, but not starting this week, where we've sat down to think about ideas around how we bring people together, etc. So we've got the launch of the RJAH Rockets. So it's a Couch to 5K running group that starts, it's next Monday, isn't it? 12. So it's Mondays and Wednesdays? Yeah. Heather? Yeah, looked at it's Mondays and Wednesdays, isn't it? Meeting at the helipad at 5:15, 45 minutes, I think, isn't it? And it's part of, a Couch to 5K with the group celebrating the end of it with a park run. A 5K park run, but very much around all abilities, all ages, a very inclusive group. And I will say my partner, Marion, is leading the group. She is a run leader, so has done this many times with other groups as well. She now has people that join that group who'd never run before that are now running marathons. So no pressure.
She's got her work cut out with me.
There's already some people that have signed up. So it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be fun, sociable, no pressure on people. I think it's on Facebook, isn't it, how people can sign up. So, yeah.
I think we've got a question from Liv, and I think people at home should be able to hear you, Liv, as long as you talk clearly.
Okay.
Speakers work.
Yes, I didn't know if it's the right place to say it, but I was just worried, is the trust worried about the cost of living crisis and about staff and support for that? Is there anything in the works?
Really good question, Liv, really good, and certainly high on our agenda at the moment. We had some conversations yesterday around looking what we can do as an organisation to support staff. From the pay perspective, it's incredibly difficult. You know, the pay for the majority of professions is set by Agenda for Change, which is a national pay scale. So we're very limited to what we can do in relation to what we pay staff. There's something that we're looking at again around temporary staffing as well to see can we do things differently. But we're looking at what's within our gift to be able to do. So a couple of weeks ago, people will see for those that have to use their car to travel, we increased the cost of what you get from a mileage. It's small, but it was an acknowledgement of something. But yeah, we're currently working through what we can do, what support we can provide. So yeah, good point, Liv. But absolutely, high on our agenda, how we support our staff.
Our first question on Teams, so thank you, Louis, because it means I can also test this properly now. If you're happy to put your camera on, Louis, please do, and hopefully the people in the room can see and hear you.
Is it working?
We can hear you.
Hiya, Louis.
Oh, the camera's on.
That's interesting.
No, it's good because that means I can't see myself behind Stacey, so that's a good thing.
Oh, there you go.
It was, again, on the back of Liv's, really. Are the hospital worried about the cost of energy from a bill's point of view, rather than supporting staff, but are we worried as a trust?
It's a good point, and again, only this morning we touched on, just in relation to Teams, the energy Teams as an example, compared to, you plug your laptop in and use Teams, you really notice the difference from how much energy that uses. From a trust perspective, government centrally, they've almost basically told us not to worry about the inflation. They will cover that cost. I say that with a bit of trepidation. This isn't new money. It'll be money that they'll be looking to move, certainly from one place to another. So they won't be certainly fulfilling or bringing more money into the NHS to pay for it. But it's shocking, isn't it? I heard on the radio last week just the impact on businesses, small businesses, how businesses will survive if something isn't done. I think it's big pressure on the new Prime Minister, which that's her commitment, isn't it? One of her first areas to look at. So at the moment, we're told not to worry around inflation. It will be covered. We won't need to find the resource internally ourselves, but even centrally, they'll move budgets around. So, but yeah, good point, Louis. Thank you.
And I also asked, I was hoping somebody else would ask, because I asked the same question last week, but about the pay deal and the back pay. Are we expecting that in September's pay?
I presume it is, Louis, but I'll commit to going back to find out, and we can do some comms around that. So yeah, I'll take that back to confirm. We believe it should be September, of course it'll be backdated as to when. Is it April, isn't it? In agreement, but I'll double check and we can get some comms out around that, because I'm sure people have already spent it.
Yeah, on electricity.
Yeah, and food. Yeah. Liz?
Just on the pay deal, there's some stuff in the HSJ this morning. I've seen some other stuff as well about people on band 8 and above that are actually going to suffer a cut because of the pension increase. Yeah,
it was a really poorly thought out. So yeah, I've seen the headline, and I had some conversations yesterday that it was raised in. So yeah, I've not looked into it in any detail as yet, but we knew from when the pay deal got announced that there were certain staff that would benefit from it, and that's great. But it wasn't, when you looked into it, wasn't it, how it was led to believe everybody would benefit from it, but actually the more scratching underneath the surface, that actually, yeah, there are certain people that potentially will lose out. So yeah, no. Can we end on a positive? Yeah, but it's all real stuff, isn't it? That's the thing. It's real stuff that people are having to deal with. Victoria will give me something positive.
So for those of you that have some time tomorrow, beat the board on the field. So we've got 202 Army coming in. They've got a couple of challenges that they've put forward. Teams of 4, ideally. Take you 15 minutes or so to come and complete one of these tasks. It's really high quality team building. There will be refreshments, cup of tea made on a trangier or something like that in sort of army conditions, and a bicky afterwards just to sort of reflect on your skills or lack thereof in team setting. So please do come to that, because 202 are very kind to come out and support us and provide this activity. They'll be available between 10 and 4 tomorrow. Ideally you would book your time and let us know. But you can just show up and take part. But the time that you do the task in will be compared to the time that the board do the task in. So that's where the beat the board comes in.
Wow, well done everyone. Because I'm sure you will beat Well, you'll certainly beat me. I can't speak on behalf of my colleagues that will be joining me in that challenge, but certainly me, I'm sure. So, yeah, no, thank you. But if that's positive, it's for me. I don't think that's positive. Thank you. Right, anything else before we close? Please do, jot your questions down, or, so that we have, I just want to make sure that people, it's a two-way thing and it's useful and beneficial for people. As much as it's beneficial for me to share stuff, it's, I don't want it to be a one-way traffic. So I think we'll close. So thank you, as always, for everything you continue to do. Still tough. It's going to be tough for a while. We've got to get that togetherness back, and I hope this week is the start of that. It's my responsibility to make sure what we do moving forward, that we continue the positive vibe that we're certainly feeling this week. So thank you, and please do, for those on Teams, hope that was a good experience, doing it in a hybrid approach. And if you are in the trust moving forward, please do come down to the lecture theatre. It'd be nice to have a full room as well to speak to. Thanks all. Take care.